Good afternoon, all. I, Dr. R. Padma Venkat, convener of the Faculty Development Program, cordially extend a warm welcome to the respected dignitaries of LBRCE, our esteemed resource person for today, Mr. T. Surendra, and all the participants. It is my pleasure to greet you on the fourth day of our national level 1 week online faculty development program. We are delighted to have you with us for another insightful and enriching session. Today, we are privileged to have with us Mr. Surendra, Senior Director of Data and Artificial Intelligence Practice at Microsoft, Hyderabad, Telangana, India. A distinguished professional in the field, Mr. Surendra will be leading the session on assessing and sustaining employability outcomes in education. With his vast experience in both the corporate and educational sectors, Mr. Surendra is uniquely positioned to guide us through the critical topic of employability, which holds immense significance in today's rapidly evolving world. We are excited to hear from Mr. Surendra, whose expertise and innovative perspectives are certain to inspire and deepen our understanding of the crucial intersection between education and employment. Let's take full advantage of this FDP as we discover new opportunities to enhance our teaching methods and equip our students for the challenges of the future. Now, I would like to take a moment to provide a brief overview of the profile of Mr. T. Surendra. Mr. T. Surendra has a diverse and robust educational background that combines technical expertise with business management skills, enabling him to lead initiatives in AI, digital transformation, and technology-driven innovation. Mr. Surendra earned a Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering from MVSR College of Engineering, Usmania University in 1991. He earned a Master of Engineering from the Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani in 1993, where he gained technical expertise in computer-aided design and mechanical engineering. Additionally, Mr. Surendra pursued a Master of Science from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani, which deepened his expertise in technology and engineering, further preparing him for his career in AI and data. He successfully completed the executive program in business management at the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta in 2014. Mr. Surendra attended the Indian School of Business, where he participated in the Building a Strategic Mindset for Microsoft program in 2014. Currently, Mr. Surendra serves as the Senior Director for Data and AI Practice at Microsoft, where he works with clients globally to deliver enterprise digital transformations solutions using generative AI, while also developing data platforms and analytics to drive business value. Mr. Surendra is on a mission to create 1 lakh smart professionals globally in the field of AI. As a speaker, coach, and mentor, he actively engages with enterprises, startups, and social organizations, helping them adopt AI and empowering individuals to leverage it for personal and professional growth. He is the author of the book Seventh Sense AI, Newer Dimensions and Better Decisions, which explores innovative dimensions in AI and its applications for better decision making. Mr. Surendra is an active volunteer with IEEE, contributing to mentoring in technology forums. He is also a member of the Soham Academy of Human Excellence, supporting children from all segments of society through education and personality development, preparing them to become successful global citizens. As a mentor for the iFocus mission, he focuses on global outreach, helping individuals and entrepreneurs transform towards a positive lifestyle. He is the founder of Tech Kshetra, a social platform designed to connect technology professionals from around the world, fostering collaboration and knowledge sharing. Thank you. Now I request Mr. T. Surendra to start the session. Welcome, sir.
Hello, namaste. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, is my audio clear?
Yeah, clear. Just.
Excellent.
Yeah, sir, fine.
Okay. First and foremost, hello everyone for taking time to hosting me and today's session, and thanks to Dr. Apparao Garu and Dr. Padma Garu for facilitating and really providing this opportunity to interact with all of you. I think this college is not new to me. Even though I came only once, but a lot of faculty and many people have become very close to me, and they are in regular touch with me, both from the social groups and in WhatsApp. So glad that we are able to connect again. Okay, and when this request uh, came to me about this faculty development program, I think when I visited last time also, we touched up briefly upon this topic that before empowering students, it is very essential to empower faculty because I always believed as an external speaker when I attend colleges and all, students are very excited. They wanted to basically come and join the sessions and other things. But that is only like kind of a flash in the moment, right? Like I come, interact, we will have some good discussions, and then that hype curve basically stays for a few days and then it waits. But what if we actually empower faculty so that on every day, because they will be interacting with students, the students will be excited to interact and learn every day, and then actually they will become kind of the guiding souls for their future. Okay, because even today, if I go back, my memory goes to one of the best teachers who have actually taught me to how should I shape my career and what I am today is all because of them. So it is very, very essential that every faculty is empowered and enabled with what is important. And the topic is very dear to me, the employability skills. Okay. The reason is no matter what, the academic skills always have a little bit trailing behind industry skills. It's very common because industry works on the customer case studies, and there is always a kind of a challenges in terms of overcoming those customer problems to meet the solutions. Whereas academic has a very structured process which has been laid out with a lot of groundwork and a lot of research, and that gap will always exist. But most important aspect within the college environment for student is how do we forecast and see what is the gap and how they can actually bridge that gap so that the learning curve and getting productivity, because one of the bottom line for any enterprise is how fast if an employee get productive in terms of meeting their goals. If we can enable that, it's a win-win situation. It's a win for colleges with the more student getting employed. It's a win for enterprise because they are able to really gain the productivity from the employed resources. I think this is a classic equation which is constantly has to be solved. Okay, there is no like we have done one program, we have done it all. That is never be the case. Okay. So with that, I have put together a couple of slides for this session. So I will be sharing my screen, okay, and then we'll
Okay,
take
sir.
it from there.
Okay, sir.
So let me know if everybody is able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So based on the topic and the important aspect which we are seeing in the industry, when I say industry, me as a senior director within Microsoft, and when I actually go ahead and interact with various colleges and hiring with HR professionals, what we actually see in a student when we are actually trying to hire them, I have basically collated some of the most essential skills which are very, very relevant for the today's industry, as well as holistically for entire uh, career growth as well. Okay. So briefly, these are the agenda items which we will touch today. What you are seeing here is 8 distinct topics. And these 8 distinct topics, if you really look at it, span across the technology landscape and the technology digital literacy. And other aspect of it is mostly in terms of the personal skills and social skills, and in terms of how to handle the crisis in today's situations. And one of the most important aspect of it is self-management. So it is both external looking and the internal facing. These are the two dimensions on which this all the topics are laid out, which are very, very important in terms of getting that student to be relevant and employable in the industry. So let's like go deeper into each of these topics. Okay. And just one question before we proceed. If there are any questions, please either if you have an access to the chat, just put it on the chat. We will try to block some time at the end of the session to go through those chat questions and try to answer it. In case if the time is insufficient, please forward that through an email. I will definitely make an effort to respond to those questions. Okay. The first and foremost, digital literacy and technological proficiency. The reason digital literacy is irrespective of whichever domain, whichever branch of engineering today the student is engaged and faculty is teaching, the digital literacy is going to be part and parcel. And especially in the digital literacy, the artificial intelligence is going to be the essential element. Whether you recognize or don't recognize, this is going to be part and parcel of our daily life. And I have seen many examples where faculty sometimes are hesitant to really experiment with the new technology changes. And sometimes that leads to a lot of gap between student and a faculty. So what I would suggest is, as a faculty, as a teacher, as a guru, it is very important that we are equally excited and equally vulnerable in terms of the technology. And since we have seen the experiences from the life, it is good to first try those technologies with within our lifestyle, within our scope, and see what are the pitfalls so that we can actually guide the students in a better way. Otherwise, the gap will increase and student thinks that he can do a lot of things with the digital technology without actually knowing the risks involved with that. Okay. So I hope this one really gels with what I'm talking. And I'm sure like you all have observed, if you look at like 10, 20 years back, we used to teach people to program so that machines will work. Sounds familiar? But today, what is happening with artificial intelligence and all the evolving technologies, whether you take kind of Gen AI, OpenAI skills, or Gemini in Google, or basically the robots, self-learning cars, what we are doing is today we are teaching machines to program so that people will work. Do you see? Machines have we used to basically make machines work, but today machines are making people work. There is a big paradigm shift. That is how the markets are changing. Okay. And this is a kind of a shocker for everyone, irrespective of whatever domain, whether you're a housewife or an enterprise CEO or an academician or a student. This is a changing landscape today. And if you really see here, whether you take manufacturing, healthcare, retail, telecommunication, irrespective of whatever technology, the AI technology is getting embedded in every aspect of it. We at Microsoft, I am basically heading data and AI landscape. What that means is, irrespective of whoever is a customer, let's say somebody is a retail customer who is distributing the products worldwide, or if it is a manufacturing field where somebody is manufacturing, let's say, turbine blades, or if it is healthcare where an efficient patient management system has to be developed and enabled to assist doctors to reach either in person or remote telemedicine way. Irrespective of this, irrespective of domains, this technology is getting like part and parcel of it. And it is very, very essential that each of the faculty who is basically engaging with students on a day-to-day basis understand this basic essence of AI technology. You can, I mean, in the academic syllabus, you may not see the elements and topics with respect to AI technology embedded within that. But it is very essential that faculty plugs into what are the changing needs of the market, understand that technology, get the grasp of those technology, and in fact, try it in your scenarios. Okay. For example, let's say you are trying to evaluate the analytical ability of a student, or if you are trying to analyze an essay which is created by a student and how to make it better. For that, today we have fantastic tools. Using natural language processing on AI tools, you can leverage those technologies in order to assess those aspects for the students. So that way, what happens is, as a faculty, your productivity will increase and you will be excited to use that technology. When a student sees an excitement to leverage that technology, to use the technology, and if the faculty who is like part and parcel and teaching every day to them is equally excited, then there is a connection that is established between student and the teacher. Many times in one of my interactions and in the colleges and various faculty, they are saying that people are using OpenAI, people are using ChatGPT to submit the answers. Then my question is, instead of fearing that, have you used ChatGPT and see what are the possibilities, what are the pitfalls, and try to basically challenge the student in terms of when you're submitting an answer with ChatGPT, how can I detect that the answer is created by ChatGPT and what are the pitfalls? There are fantastic tutorials and technologies to do that. If you can experiment and put that challenge back to the student, then they will be more aligned and more kind of effective in terms of like engaging with them and guiding them. For example, uh, I have a basically a teenage son, and suddenly he came one day. He had just graduated, and it seems he heard that stock trading is really good. One can actually make a lot of money, and he wanted to explore how to do the stock trading. So my immediate response, if it is like a default approach as a parent, is that is a very bad thing. People lose money. Don't ever do that. I don't want to see you thinking about stock trading at all. That could be my default kind of response, right? So instead, what I did is I took a little bit a step back and thought that instead of actually curtailing his excitement to do and understand the stock trading. I said, okay, do you wanted to really understand how the stock trading works and what are the things? Let us do one thing. Let's go to one of the stock trading sites. There are a lot of sites, right? Like nowadays, National Stock Exchange has the sites and Money Control, and there are like Business Broker or ICICI Direct. Lot of sites are there. I said, let's open one test account. Let's open that. Let's choose some stocks and put it as a build a portfolio. And let's basically observe that without putting 1 rupee of investment in that. Let's observe what happens. Let's observe on everyday basis. And I gave him a task for whatever portfolio we create. Try to basically every day spend some 15-20 minutes, make a notes how the market is changing, what are the news about the company for which he has chosen the stocks, and what are those companies are working on, what are their products, what is the market sentiment on those products. Do some study, and the way you do the study is go to some sites or use your own like Gemini or Bing Chat or Chat GPT to research about that companies and prepare a summary of each of those companies. And I said, we will do this experiment for 2 weeks and let us see how your portfolio works. So, to my surprise, he sincerely took that, and I was also equally excited what will come out of it. We both were actually every day discussing. After 2 weeks, we ourselves and he himself has came back and say that out of this 10 company stocks, these companies are doing well, this company is not doing well, these are the pitfalls of this company, these products are defective, this is the market sentiment where people are not really interested, and there is a lot of what you call false marketing on certain products, so this company may not really survive. So he basically came up with understanding of what goes on behind that. So here, in order to achieve that, what what basically we have used is the curiosity of the student marrying with the technology here and helping them in terms of guiding how to leverage the technology to make better decisions. So always try to foster this sense of innovation and challenge them in terms of how the technology can help you. And technology need not be kind of a dependency, but it is an enabler in terms of their learning ability. If the faculty can do that, nothing like it. The students will be a fan of the faculty if we can travel with them and challenge that excitement. Okay. And one of the basic aspect in terms of any domain today is analytics. And every aspect of it has to be viewed like a data. So whether you are running your academic institution, whether you are teaching a mechanical capstone project, whether you are basically giving some assignment, there is a data involved underlying within that. So if we can enable the student to think in analytical way in every aspect of it, that's it. They themselves will can do a lot of problem solving. Okay. So one of my favorite uh, topics and the challenges which I give it either people who join very recently in my team is basically solve some of the problems by observing them around the ecosystem. So what I mean by that is one of the colleges when I went, what I asked them is, okay, everybody uses mobile phones today. Okay. And typically every mobile phone, whatever may be the make of it, the best mobile phone last have a battery life of one to 1.5 day based on the usage. So I gave them a challenge. Okay. What is that you can do to increase the battery life of your mobile phone by 20%? This is the problem definition. I wanted to see how you can improve the battery retention of your mobile phone by 20% and give me the results. So with that, now the student not only like using the mobile phone, now they have an inquisitive mindset. What is draining my battery in my cell phone? Is it excessive usage of WhatsApp or excessive usage of some social media apps or excessive usage of whatever they are using? What is and how that relates to the battery consumption within the device? So, and I gave them a framework. Okay, whenever there are a lot of tools, go and research what are the tools which will basically showcase application to the battery usage. Make a correlation between them. Make a log in terms of how many times they have used the cell phone, which apps they have used, how many times they opened the app, how many times they locked and unlocked the device. Make a list or log of these actions, and every time make a notes of how much battery it has drained. The beauty of this experiment is that the student themselves has came back basically giving the complete picture in terms of application that are consuming the battery and how the battery life get impacted based on their usage, and if they can reduce number of times they check their WhatsApp, number of times the social media apps are used, they can actually efficiently manage their device and increase the lifestyle themselves. So it is kind of like, instead of telling them not to use the phone, tell them this is the outcome which I wanted to see how you can make it happen. Like that, being in a campus, I think one of the important things is you as a faculty identify those challenges within the campus. For example, in Microsoft, when the new set of hires joined us last year, we gave them a challenge in terms of the wastage in the canteen. How do we reduce the wastage within the canteen, the food wastage, and how we can actually create awareness to avoid that wastage? Because here in Microsoft, what we have is we have like open buffet kind of a system where a lot of food items are served, and you just like give one amount and you can eat any amount of food, whatever maybe it could be your traditional Indian dishes, Italian dishes, or you can have pizza, burgers, and everything. So what was happening is constantly people were like taking more than what they can consume, and at the end they were all throwing in the garbage, and it was leading to a lot of wastage. When we give this challenge to them, the students came with very innovative technique. One set of people who joined, what they have done is they have just basically put a cell phone where at the garbage bin where they're going to drop the food, the leftover food, and that cell phone basically makes a video of whatever is been dumped into that. And every time something is dumped into that, that video, they do a image analysis and basically tells how much is the approximate food they have dropped in terms of the volume, and what are the calories they have wasted from that food. So, and they put a monitor behind that, which will basically in the real time, once somebody drops, let's say, fruit or a cake or a pizza into that, it will tell, okay, you have dropped like, let's say, almost like 250 grams of food approximately, and this has like 3000 calories or 2500 calories, which could have served at least four people in a day. So that's the kind of a metric it will display right there. So what that has left is now people started making informed decisions. Okay. So they take less, and if they require more, they will go and serve in the second run instead of taking excess food and wasting it. So these are the things, like think about what are the challenges within your campus, how to make your campus green campus, how to avoid wastages, how you can conserve electricity, how you can make sustainable campus with respect to uh, the other sources of power, which you can tap it from solar power or wind power. So give those challenges, and this doesn't involve a lot of budget requirements. This can happen proactively in a very, very small amount of budget. You can trigger a lot of these things, and you can combine the student inquisitiveness and the technology and the empowerment so that they basically become better decision makers with respect to analytical mindset. Okay. I don't want it to drain too much on this slide. As you know, today's one of the de facto approach is cloud computing. Earlier, if we have to enable in terms of any application or any technology, there used to be limitations of computing, limitations of memory, limitations of network. But with cloud computing, and it is becoming very cheaper, irrespective of whatever application, the cloud computing is available for everyone at scalable with a flexibility to reach masses. Be it in a campus, the small application which a student develops can reach to the globe within a day. That's the power which is available to everyone. So it is very, very essential both faculty and students understand the power of this cloud computing and get familiar with it and get comfortable with it, and how we can leverage the power of this with respect to your syllabus. And of course, this is goes without saying, as this power of computing, network, and storage comes in handy, it comes with its own risk of cyber security. So trust but verify. So if somebody is sending a message, you look at the message, but always verify whether it is coming from a secure source, whether it is authentic, and there are a lot of tools and techniques. So don't kind of ignore this aspect of cyber security. So irrespective of whatever actions you are doing, because what I sometimes really feel that today's students have to deal with much more complex world than what we were a couple of years back. They have a uh, social media, they have their own academic platform, they have the family background comes from different lifestyles. All of this combined together, and then lot of exposure to the news, which is manipulated in a big time. And hats off to them, like how they can process all this and still become kind of a healthy citizen of the world. Okay. So cyber security is part and parcel and essential aspect of it as this technology become essential for us. So this is kind of the digital literacy and the computing network and storage, the power which is available to everyone. And first and foremost is the faculty gets excited and enabled with this awareness so that they can challenge the student, they can partner with student and bring collaboratively a new wave in terms of guiding them for future career. Now let's shift to a little bit of the personal skills. Okay. This is one of the most essential traits which we are seeing today in the industry. And the reason I'm telling that is adaptability and resilience, most essential. If all of you have observed the news that is happening, and let me a little bit step back and share my experience. I had an opportunity to work in Japan for some time. Almost 2.5 years I worked in Japan. And I worked with one of the premier research institutes called Mitsubishi Research Institute. There, my division head is almost like a CEO of that for the Mitsubishi Research Institute. One day when I was actually reading everything is written in Japanese. So basically, I asked them to translate it to English. His name board before his cabin. Okay. His name was Konishi. Okay. Konishi was his given name. And next to that, it was family name. And when I basically asked, what is your family name? He says Mitsubishi. I was surprised. I said, Mitsubishi seems to be company name. Why it is your last name? Is like, are you a founder of Mitsubishi? I said, no, 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 nothing like that. In Japan, in 1945, when that whole nuclear bomb was dropped and whole economy collapsed, the country collapsed, they started rebuilding the country step by step in every landscape, in every technology industry. And it so happened that people used to work almost 18, 20, 24 hours. Sometimes they used to work for couple of days continuously in the company before they return home for a brief rest and then go back. And it so happened after a couple of years, they cannot relate to anything else other than company. And the company has become their last name. So his name was Mitsubishi Konishi. Okay. If I relate that to today's world, is it still applicable? I don't think so. Because in today's landscape, things change rapidly. Companies build and collapse overnights. I see a lot of unicorns, which basically start with, let's say, 1 lakh or 5 lakhs kind of an investment and become kind of a multi-crore startups within like few months. If you look at Zomato, Swiggy's and all this, these have just formed just few months back or a few years back, and they have become world powerhouses in terms of what are. And in that process, people change, people get hired, people get fired as well. Okay. So it is very, very essential for our students that they need to be adaptable and resilient. And how they do that? Fundamentally, three aspects of it. Okay. Continuous learning. I always emphasize for our people who are employed within Microsoft that you might think that, okay, now I got into Microsoft, it's all done. Now I can just like, I'll retire from Microsoft. I said, never ever think like that, because one of the most important aspect in today's market is being relevant. And the relevancy comes only through continuous learning. If I basically share an example, when I joined Microsoft, I've been with Microsoft from last 18 years. In 2006, I joined. When I joined, we used to have product releases like Windows, Office, all these products which you are using, right? We used to release these products once in every 3 years. Okay. And within that 3 years, it used to be product development, continuous improvement, bug fixes, features, testing, and all that. Almost a new, brand new, completely new product used to come once in 3 years. 5 years fast forward, in 2012 to 15, the life cycle of product development and releases reduced to 1 year. And then 3 years fast forward in 2018, our releases, product releases, have been crunched to every quarter. So every 3 months we used to release. And today, okay, fast forward again another 5 years. In 2024, we have product releases every day. That's the kind of timeline we are looking at it. So there is a continuous stream of feature development and continuous stream of releases that is happening. And it's mind-boggling. And how do we really catch up with this kind of changing landscape? Is upskill, reskill, and new skill. So if if a student knows about how to program, then he or she has to learn how he can leverage other tools to program better. That is upskill. Okay. When I joined, there used to be a lot of networking students, database administrators, those kinds of roles were there. Testing people, testing teams were there. Now they are not there. They no more exist. Because if the database administrator who used to manage the servers and all, now it is all taken care by machines itself. They are called self-healing machines. Okay. Hardly there is any DBAs who are managing these huge data centers, which we do. So what happens to those DBAs? Whoever has reskilled, they have become either data scientists or data engineers, okay, or database developers. Whoever is not skilled have become irrelevant from the industry, and they would have been either laid off or moved on to something else. So upskill, then reskill. And sometimes, not sometimes, it is become a constant norm that whatever skill you have learned today, within next 6 months, whether that skill is going to be relevant or not is big question because amount of changes that is happening. So it is very, very important that somebody has to constantly invest on what is the new skill one has to inculcate within their curriculum itself. So continuous learning, upskilling, and preparing for future challenges are the three mantras in terms of adaptability and resilience the student has to take. And this, it is not onus on the student itself. This is onus on the faculty itself. It is, it is essential that within your curriculum in a week's time, at least block a half a day or at least couple of 2 hours in a week where you basically focus on this continuous learning piece and work with the students. And one of the best ways to enable this is create learning circles within the campus, do some hackathon events, give some industry problems, and nowadays a lot of industries are interested. Like I myself have committed myself that I will connect with academia and provide some industry problems where you can actually give that to students to enable this continuous learning. This is another most essential skill, effective communication. So what we have seen in the lot of new hires is active listening and empathy. Excuse me. Anybody has a question there? Hello? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you.
Okay. Okay. No, I heard some
I think there was
something.
signal
I thought
disturbance.
somebody has a question. Can I
Somebody
continue?
by mistake has enabled the audio.
Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So here, one of the important cultural shock when a new hire comes in is they get exposed and will be working with the global workforce. So today, especially, I mean, thanks to COVID, this remote working has become norm now. Earlier, before COVID, remote working used to be an exceptional case. Maybe few days or once in a while, people used to work remotely. But post-COVID, even locally, I have like almost 160 people in my team, and it is impossible for me to assemble all 160 people for one of the maybe town hall sessions or any kind of event because people are scattered. In fact, my core team, who are my direct reports, okay, One is in Cochin, one is in Calcutta, one is in Singapore, okay, and one is in UK, and few are there in Hyderabad, but they hardly come to office. They work from home. So in this kind of a scenario, one of the most essential skill is how do you build strong relationships without being able to see in person? Okay. How do you translate your thinking into a clear messaging so that other person can relate to it, understands it, and then takes it forward? So please invest time as a faculty how to really help students in terms of active listening and empathy. And I'm sorry to say, lot of graduating students from many colleges have a very poor listening abilities, okay, and very limited empathy skills. What I mean by that is, let me give you an example. We have a lot of brainstorming sessions. That means if a product has to be developed and it requires certain feature set, let's say we wanted to enable uh, Word document creation using only speech instead of typing, we want to enable with speech. So when such a feature has to be developed, then there will be a lot of design discussion that happens. When and the team could be some people are in here, some people are in UK, some people are in US, some people are in Japan, some people are locally remote and all. When I see especially our Janta, if I would say, they try to jump in before other person completes the sentence. Okay. And there is not even a kind of a sense of excuse or empathy that they have interrupted the other person. Okay. This is becoming a very common problem. And then basically the other person thinks that it is rude, and this person thinks that it is absolutely normal, and then there is a friction, and then there is always challenges in building the teams. Okay, because the clear messaging has missed out, the relationship is already strained, and people are basically there is a mental block. When I interact with this person, he always interrupts my speech, so I will not work with him. So these are all the problems that basically get multitude, and over a period of time, the sense of team and belongingness is completely lost. And this is happening more frequently nowadays. So as a faculty, if you wanted to make your students employable and become effective and become brand ambassadors of your college, this is one area which you need to focus. So give them kind of enough opportunity in terms of stage presence. Instead of every day taking a lecture, give a topic and block at least one day in a month, okay, where they come and present it and you become a critic of it. And you become critic not only on the topic, but also in the presentation style, articulation style, the messaging, the clarity of message, and keep them very crisp and simple topics in order to do that. Okay. If at all there is a one big blocker to make them employable, this is the one skill. Okay. The next aspect is more related to each person, which is emotional intelligence. When I say emotional intelligence, because our students will end up working in a global environment, the cultures are different, the thinking patterns are different, lifestyles are different. Okay. So conflict is part and parcel of the work. And one of the important aspect which is lacking in our students, if I would say, is ability to deal with the conflict. And I have seen uh, many times when when somebody is challenged with respect to a feature or a proposal or a design, many of them become very emotional and they feel that it is a direct insult to them. Let me give you one example. We as an Indian society are very, very diplomatic in nature and we try to soften the message. We don't give a direct feedback. These are all our cultural traits. Okay. So, for example, in when you're dealing with Japanese, if 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 there is a product feature that has to be developed, okay, he will ask simple question: can you complete this product feature by Monday morning 9 a.m.? Okay, this is the question he will ask. Usually, the response is from I'm talking about our context. Most of the people, engineers here, they will try. And the person on the other end, he basically makes a statement or a note within the status report saying that the team has agreed to deliver by Monday morning 9 a.m. I will try is translated as a commitment that he will deliver. Whereas if you look at the person who has responded to the question, thinks that I have conveyed that I will try, but I may not able to complete it. That is the impression he is carrying. The other person is the impression he is carrying is he has committed, he will deliver. On Monday morning 9 a.m. what happens is this person said I tried, but I could not complete. Other and the receiver and the customer thinks that you have committed, but you have failed. You see the difference, what happens? Same thing when you talk with the Japanese, German customers, they are very direct. They don't mince words. If you are trying to explain a concept and they are not able to understand, they say that this doesn't make sense to me. This is the word they use. Literally, they use this doesn't make sense to me. What happens immediately? The person who is presenting from our end, he thinks that that person has insulted him. Okay. He has directly used a very abusive words against me. He said, whatever I spoke doesn't make any sense. And that's it. They get into the shell and they basically become very emotional. So one of the important aspect is this emotional intelligence has to be facilitated and has to be enabled to our students. And how we do it is, let me give you one example, especially for faculty, because you're all faculty. There is one contestant in recent American elections, Suresh Ramaswamy, if I remember the name. Try to go and observe his debates. He's an Indian, and being an Indian, he is being asked some of the tough questions in the press conferences and direct insulting questions as well, and how he has handled it. Look at our Prime Minister Modi, okay, how he handles the direct questions. Okay. There are some fantastic role models in this space. And I would encourage faculties basically observe these traits, show them those videos, and create certain like virtual environment where there is a direct feedback and how the student responds. If they can actually practice that over a period of time, instead of putting the emotion aside, they will be focusing on the logic first. So if we can put emotion down, logic first, then emotional intelligence would be one of the most powerful tool our students can basically develop. Okay. And this is most essential, especially for effective teamwork, because there is no individual excellence. There is always a team excellence that is recognized in an organization. Okay. I think we touched upon this creativity and innovation. This you can enable within the campus. in multiple ways. Okay. As I was telling, block some time, fixed time every month on certain day, maybe a half a day on a weekday or a weekend, whatever is like suitable, where you give like learning circles with few topics for students to debate, discuss, and in the process, don't just keep it very loosened. Okay. One of the ways which I have experimented within our organization is we have small charts and we created learning circles, like a dozen of them, and a few topics we asked them to basically collect it over the week on a Friday afternoon over the lunch or post lunch, chai pe charcha kind of a thing. We ask them to basically, I mean, sometimes this is hybrid. Some are in person, some are in teams, to basically jot down what are the ideas, what are the inputs, what are the pitfalls on various topics, and they have to write it literally. Okay, so that when we think lot of ideas, but it's very hard to put it in a structured way. So that instead of actually teaching them how to create a structured presentation, when you're practicing in front of people, automatically those get refined. First, it will be very much challenge, but over a period of 2, 3 iterations, they will be able to crack it through. So brainstorming and experimentation with these techniques is going to be very, very essential. And teachers and faculty are the first enablers of this in terms of these skill sets. And here is one of the important aspects of it, critical thinking. Okay. And critical thinking, when I say critical thinking and problem solving, people immediately revert it to what are the techniques, what is the critical thinking, are there any courses to take, and all that stuff. Forget all that. Okay. Ask them to prepare case studies with respect to whatever they are observing. Okay. Uh, as simple as simple challenges in terms of making a green campus. Go and study what are the green campus means. What is a green environment means. What is zero wastage means. What is zero environmental pollution means. So give them this one simple topic and give them at least 2 weeks time to come back and present a case study. And that case study, if you can put it within your campus SharePoint or a campus portal, then that itself will become a repository for you, so that every student can actually huddle around those case studies and enable. And these will be very, very practical challenges and practical applications where student can learn. And here, when I say this, you might be thinking, okay, this is too much of work for faculty. In fact, what I would say is a faculty, if they are spending let's say, in a day, 8 hours of time today, I'm just taking an example for teaching, for preparing, for setting up the exams, for correcting, coaching, using the technology, using the student learning circles and things. Can they reduce that load from 8 hours to 6 hours or 4 hours and let the students do the work, grunt work, make them work, make them work extended hours if required, and bring you the draft so that you can actually ask them to correct it and improve upon it. For example, in I studied from BITS Pilani. In BITS Pilani, we have something called student organization body. That student organization body are given in rotations. The canteen management, campus management, event management, visitor management in rotations. So for a quarter, there will be small set of groups where they are given the budget, they are giving the scope, and they are giving the outcomes. How to improve the canteen management, how to improve the campus wastage, how to improve the visitor experience whenever the parents or some external faculty invited, how to make them comfortable, how to make their experience better from the campus. Because whoever visits, when they exit from that campus, they become brand ambassadors of that campus. They will be going and propagating that. Student, once you give these challenges, you will be mesmerized with respect to kind of ideas they bring in. Okay. And here is one of the most important aspect of it, professionalism and self-management. This is one of the important aspect of it, time management, prioritization of techniques, and meeting the deadlines. And here it goes even beyond this skill set. Okay. So we have spoken in terms of the cultural differences in terms of communication in some few slides back, and in terms of deadlines, how we communicate and how the other person receives it. Okay. So become super critical in terms of how we are communicating, the clarity of communication, clarity of commitment which we are giving is one of the most important aspect of it. And second aspect of it is the professionalism. Whether it's good or bad, what I've seen it is the informal language, abbreviated language has become very, very common in today's world. Okay. All this, what do you call, Twitter kind of language, abbreviated language, they have started using even with respect to your academic exercises as well. In terms of conveying the message, they use this abbreviated language. Please avoid that. And whenever you see that happening with your students, nip it at the bud in the right instance. That is not acceptable at all. Because in the professional environment, those casual attitudes and this informal communications lead to lot of careers which were shining has completely collapsed overnight. Okay. Some people thought that exchanging jokes on a enterprise platform is a very, very common thing because that's what they used to do in colleges. That's what they used to do outside. And that led to basically a HR escalations and people got fired, not even with a hour's notice. Okay. These are non-negotiable things. The most important aspect of is the professional attitude and professional environment. And this comes with a lot of interpersonal skills. Okay. Sometimes we do recognize some individual team member who has done exceptional work, which is good thing. But for those individuals, you have to emphasize that as an individual, you can go to only some extent. It is the teamwork that really excels. If an individual is able to do X amount of time, X amount of work within Y amount of time, as a team, one can do tenfold of that impact. And that philosophy and that mindset has to come out right from beginning. Okay. Because I have seen like, let me give you a practical example. It happened almost like 2 years back. We hired one very, very smart individual from one of the colleges, and he joined very, very passionate, very enthusiastic, always lively and all. He joined, and after 3 weeks, and he was reporting to one of the managers who reports to me. So he's basically a skip level. So after 2 or 3 weeks, that person, that student has directly, or that new hire has directly pinged me saying that I need your time. I wanted to discuss with you. Okay. I said, why don't you discuss with your manager? No, 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 I have to discuss something very important. I wanted to have a direct communication with you. Okay. I basically hesitated because I don't want to skip the my direct report because he might feel bad that one of his directors directly spoke to me. But I gave the time, and when he came in, I said, "You will have 5 minutes. Tell me what is your problem, or what is that you wanted to discuss." To my surprise, what he said is, what I found is here everybody in this team are not as smart as himself. They are doing a lot of repetitive tasks, okay, and they are wasting a lot of time. And observing them, I am getting so many ideas. I have like maybe 30, 40 ideas every day. Sometimes I'm getting 100 ideas. And when I go to my manager or my other team members to explain these ideas, they are not receiving it. They feel that it is waste of time. I don't see any creativity. So he was basically saying all these things. Then I said, okay, why don't you go back? Okay, out of 25, 30 ideas, okay, just to take 3 ideas, spend amount of time to prioritize 3 ideas and convince 3 people to basically give you time and basically partner with you to make that idea happen. If that idea, in order to implement that idea, if you need money, if you need time, if you need resources, I will arrange it for you. But what I wanted is distill all your ideas, prioritize into 3 ideas, okay? Convince 3 more people, come with all those 3 people, okay? Then I will have some suggestions for you, okay? Then I gave him 2 weeks of time. After 2 weeks, he came alone. I said, I don't have time for you. I said, I can only talk to you when you come back with your team members who have really liked your idea. So another 2 weeks I gave. After another 2 weeks, he came back and said that I'm not able to convince. So how do I go about it? Then that's where I said, boss, everybody who comes into an organization have gone through certain evaluation process. Everybody has gone through interview process. Everybody has gone through the challenges, questions of interviewer. When we hire for Microsoft, there are 3 things which we see. First, whether that person has the mindset that can fit into Microsoft philosophy. Second, can that person has the skill set and basically ability to work with others within our domain. The third, whether that person has an aptitude and attitude to work with the team. Okay. When all these 3 are noted or observed within that candidate, he is offered. And you are not an exception. Everybody has gone through that. Okay. So it is very, very essential that you respect and you gain respect, you give respect in order to enable the teamwork. This is the most essential aspect in order to succeed. Otherwise, very soon they will lose the respect, they will lose the team members, they left alone, they get frustrated, they become irrelevant, and they get fired from the organization. So this team cohesion, team collaboration, conflict resolution, ability to take the feedback and also give the feedback is very, very essential. That's why we have the performance management within our organization. I'm just sharing with you what we do. Is there are 3 circles of impact for every individual. One is the self impact in terms of what you bring it to the table from your ideas, from your work, from your skills. That is the first circle. The second circle is how you are able to take the help of others by convincing them on your ideas, your skills, your project, take the help from them and make your product better. That is the second circle. The third circle is how you are able to help others to make their project better, their outcome better. Okay. So you will be measured on all these three circles, how you have made an impact, which leads to your career growth, your promotions, your growth within the company. One of the most important aspect is embed this thinking within your students right from beginning in all these three circles. Okay. Finally, digital literacy, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, and interpersonal skills are the most important aspects of it, which a faculty can enable to make student really a resourceful entity, a resourceful citizenship for the market to prosper, and they will become brand ambassadors for you. Okay. So with that, I basically stop here and happy to take any questions if the time permits. Let me stop sharing now.
Thank you, sir. It's a wonderful session. Dear participants, if you have any questions, Mr. Surendra is waiting. Please type in the Q&A box or chat box, please. Or you can speak on your mics.
Or let me do one thing. There is a react button on the session, right? Let me see what is the reaction. Whoever is there.
I reacted for one time. You said that you said that students are using informal language or abbreviated form, right? So usually we see that in the classes. We want them because when they are writing, whether it is in verbal form or in speaking in the formal manner, they are not supposed to use such abbreviations. So usually we insist them to speak properly. First Telugu,
Yeah.
their mother tongue, then English.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm from English, so we stress on the language more. I like that point more. And I received a question from not the participant, one of my students. When I said them that you are coming for faculty development program, they are doing their masters in AI and data. So they asked me one questions to put in behalf of them. Shall I ask you, sir?
Sure, sure.
So, how are organizations leveraging AI in data visualization to make complex data more accessible and actionable for non-technical stakeholders? This is the question they just forward to me. I'm asking.
So, I mean, seems this is kind of an answer is within the question. So, organization